Second last and certainly not second least, DonCarlo _Alvir _01 MP4. I'm going to turn the audio up for the first listen. Let's go. All right.
Two things.
Go ahead, Parker. No.
Two things jumped out at me right away on the first couple watches. Is when she first comes in, I think the bear is like almost completely stiff, like he's not animated for like almost a full second. It seems like there's like nothing going on in the chest here, and so maybe just like a slow breathing cycle. Because right away when I saw it, I was like, I stopped watching her and started watching him. I was like, oh, is he not animated? And then he came to life, and I was like, oh, okay. And then I wasn't watching her though; I was watching him. It was just jarring the first couple times. And then the table texture, there's no texture on it. So it was really jarring when he flipped it. All of a sudden, this gray thing just flipped in front of the screen, and it took me a couple of watches before I realized that was the table. In fact, I didn't even know there was a table there at the beginning. So if it was just like a brown texture or something like that, you could throw on there, that'd help out.
And the one thing I was just going to say up front, I feel like the file was given in this way because Annie was very shiny in a lot of the submissions, but she is a blend, and I feel like she could be more matte because she definitely sticks out that she looks like she's a little bit made of cellophane, and that is a very cosmetic note, but would be something that would be less distracting in the future. Sorry.
You know, once again, this is like one of the ones that really did well on the sort of like acting aspect and took a little less of an actiony approach compared to some of the other ones, which I thought was like an interesting choice because I think it was tempting to go the action route, and clearly that was like the action route was the path that most people took, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with it. This one just like stood out a lot as being like a primarily acting focused one. I really like. While I agree with the note about Tibbers not moving at all, I like how little, like that Tibbers doesn't move much. So if you do add some motion in there, I wouldn't overdo it, because what it does is it like really draws the attention to Annie, who's like the star of the show at the beginning there. And also, like, for me, it gave Tibbers this almost like docile, trained vibe. Like he's like not actually interested in being at the tea party, but like Annie's trained him to do this, right? Like that's kind of what it felt like to me, which made me chuckle because it got me into like his pathos a little bit. I know they talked about the table texture, which I agreed with. If you were to take the time to like ace this out, I think a great thing would be to add some elements on the table, like the tea set, to kind of explain what's happening here. And then as the table comes forward, you could kind of like animate those elements sliding off towards camera in like a cool way that I think would add a lot of just like little quality to the whole thing, as sort of like polish points. But very cool. Yeah, I mean, I don't really have like a lot of criticism other than like the bear thing there. It's a cool, like I love the staging of it is really good. There wasn't many submissions that did a more like close up kind of like acting shots that were staged more in a more cinematic way, and you just did a really good job of staging it and doing like the choreography for it and stuff. It's just really good.
I agree. The way,
and I do feel like it really captured, like maybe more than any of the other submissions, like Annie and Tibbers as they are characters in the League of Legends universe. It's just like spot on for them. This is like something that I could see in Wild Rift, and it would be like, yep, that fits right in there. That's them.
Yeah. That moment where Tibbers is rowing and Annie is casting the fire, and she's not casting it like her whole body is facing it. She kind of is like doing almost like what's that dance move? And she has this cool cast like across her body. It feels really playful, but also like effortless in a specific way. I can't scrub. Parker, are you scrubbing right now?
No, I'm not touching it. But maybe
It says Parker's active. I might have to.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, there we go.
Got it?
This pose, like her body stays over here and she casts across her body. And the fact that you're not like making her whole body twist lets Tibbers have like his corner up here, lets her sort of live under his arm here. It really just feels together in a way that feels great. The only things that kind of really stick out to me are this, like your acting is so good. I don't know if it's necessary or if you kept it, having it kind of just like appear and like dissipate immediately. The fact that it hangs there feels, because you have it dissipate afterwards. I just feel like you could just have it dissipate as like a little moment. But like your acting is selling this kind of enough, in my opinion, that you don't need to lean on that effect. And then the only other thing is I think it'd be good to get a blink in here for Annie. And that's like a really nitpicky thing, but because we're so close on her face, you have her blink coming across. But then I really noticed that like the eye contact where like your eye control is there and her head is kind of moving as she comes across. That would be good to get her eyes closed through this motion as well, to like open it and settle as she gets into that second arc of her head there. I think would feel really good. Oh, what the?
Sorry, I accidentally zoomed it as I was hovering past it.
One small thing. Sorry, I was muted. I feel like Tibbers' settle is like an oversell. He rotates too much, maybe. I don't know. This bit just feels like it could be. It's like his whole body is just going like. Could have a bit more overlap or something on the arm, or just stood out to me as like too much settle.
I think especially because he like kind of settles and he's looking at the camera and then he looks away again.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe if he settled and looked at the camera and then his shoulder came back, but his head was more sticking the landing, or his head was like wherever you want it facing, rather than the whole thing kind of doing.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like everything's rotating together, like his arm, his head, and it's all kind of like on one thing. Yeah, like you said, maybe having his head facing forward still, but his body still having that settle. And he continues to move a lot, but Annie's kind of already done. So from here, Annie's kind of stopped mostly, and he's still doing a full like 45-degree rotation. Yeah.
Any final notes for DonCarlo Alvir?
I have two little things.
Give me the little things.
All right, cool. Oh, cool. I nailed it. I love this hand pose. Like, I love that she comes in and just plops with that like fun little hand pose. That's awesome. And then on this part, when she does her notice and then she sort of like blunk, plops down. I feel like again, like everything sort of stops moving and then starts at the same time and then stops kind of all in the same couple of frames too. And I'd love to see that broken up a little bit. Like maybe the shoulder droops first and then the chest and then the head comes down. Just break up that timing a little bit between the different body parts. But yeah, super cool.
This is my really small note, but I've used that VFX before, I think. The little like
this guy?
Yeah, that one before, and I know you can like make it bigger and smaller. So maybe like having it like almost increase and then decrease really fast to like show. I'm pretty sure you can animate that as well instead of just having static.
Yeah, even like a pulse, so that like right when it
Yeah.
appears, it's not like, "Hello, I'm here now."
Yeah, because I almost didn't see it on the first go around.
Yeah. All right. Any final thoughts before we move to our final animation of our top 10?
I just want to mention really quick that I really like the detail that there's no tea coming out of the teapot. It's kind of like, maybe at first when I saw it, like maybe they forgot to put like liquid in there, but then again, it could have been one of those pretend tea parties, and that could have been like why Tibbers might not have been like so enthused about being there in the first place. And I just thought that was a really good like character piece. Yeah.
Awesome. Great notes. Great call. Imaginary Tea Party. DonCarlo _Alvir _01. Rats in the chat. Thank you for your awesome submission. Woo! I love seeing the rats pop up because our like tiny little pitter patter, not wanting to blow out our mics, round of applause is like so funny to me always.